Everybody knows when you start something, you might not be very good at it. That's okay. It's a natural part of learning any skill or discipline. You're always going to have a period of time where you don't really know what you're doing. Game development is a very particular discipline in that there is so much to learn up front that it can often seem really intimidating and kind of crazy. But here's what you need to understand about starting to be a game developer in order to succeed in the long term. But first, I want to thank today's sponsor, Gooply. Gooply is a service that helps you when you're down and out and you don't have no one to rely on. Using Gooply, you can do something on their platform, which is a cloud service, cloud-based platform. Check it out. Link in my bio today for 20% off your first year, the membership. And there's a code, I love Goop. Enter that code at checkout. You're going to get 10% off your next novelty baseball hat from the MLB flagship store in New York using the code I love Goop. So check it out. Go there. And thank you to Gooply for sponsoring this video. So I'm sure everybody's seen somebody on like a Discord server who's come in and being like, I'm going to make a game and it's going to be awesome and it's going to be like... I'm going to make a game and it's going to be awesome and it's going to be like The Witcher 5. It's going to be like the biggest game ever made. It's going to be like Breath of the Wild with twice as many horses and 5 times as many swords. And there's going to be robots. The lore of the robots is actually, there was 4 crystals. The lore is actually really interesting because there's actually 30 runes and the runes have been destroyed since the regicide of the great king Lawrence. So he entrusted the 3 rune fragments of the 3rd rune, which was also the most powerful rune, to the 3 wizard kings of Gorbalon. Pretty interesting, actually, if you really get into it. And the lore is actually like pretty interesting because, you know, it takes place after the 3 runes have been destroyed. Sort of you play as the as a worm. I think when most people see something like that, they are kind of skeptical. There's so many people out there who have like huge ideas of games they want to make and very little idea of like how to actually make them. And I think the reason for that is something called the Dunning-Kruger effect. So if you haven't heard of this before, it basically is this giant graph, and what this is saying is that if you're here, you're stupid, and if you're here, you're actually really smart. Let's break it down. If you're over here on the bottom left side of the Dunning-Kruger curve, that means you've like just started doing something. So you like don't really know anything about it, but the people at this phase have the largest ambitions. So they tend to think like, oh, I can make Breath of the Wild 3. I could do it, and I could make I'm gonna make a game that's gonna be bigger, twice the size of Cyberpunk. It's gonna be Cyberpunk 2078. So these people, they like don't know much about what their discipline actually involves, and so their ideas of what they can do or what they can make are grandiose. And then when you kind of get up here, you sort of start to realize like, ooh boy, this is pretty tough. What we're doing over here is tough. But I think the big gap is like, how do you get over here? How do you get to the point where you realize that what you're making is like an insane psychosis of lore that you've written with no way to like implement the game, and it's never gonna get done? I think the tough thing is like, how do you get from here to here? What's the process? How do you get from here to here? I'm gonna detail for you the steps that I think you should follow if you want to get up the Dunning-Kruger curve and start to be able to estimate how big of a game can I actually make. Step 1 is start your engines. Oh my God. So step 1, start your engines. You gotta bind a game engine and you just gotta start it. You gotta open it up. And this is a formative exercise for people because I think this will really tell you how insanely difficult any of this stuff is. Like this will show you what the flip you're dealing with. Really. Boot your engine and you'll see the scene in front of you, this empty scene. It's a vast realm of opportunity. Gray boxes that you put down everywhere. And you start to realize pretty quickly the daunting task that's in front of you. This should start to give you an idea of like, oh, wow. Whew. That's a big mountain. I got to get up there. Now you're telling me I got to go over there. I got to get all the way up. I got to go there. The best way to start that process is just to open your engine. Start to understand like what you don't even know how to know. You know, realize you're down here. It's the first step. The second step is pick a project. Pick a game that you're going to actually like make. Pick a goal you can set that you can like actually do. Best way to do this is to pick an idea that's like this big. Maybe this big. Not this big. This big. Not even this big. This big. This is how big your idea should be. If it's any bigger, you're gonna have was in trouble. One of the biggest things I learned with scope was determining what size of a game I can actually make. And that was really tough when coming up with the concept for my game, Terra Factoria. It's a roguelike deck builder that combines city building elements from games like Settlers of Catan and Civilization with roguelike deck building elements from games like Slay the Spire and Balatro. I think I came up with something interesting that kind of resonates and is pretty fun. It's really, really tough to find games that you're interested in making, are within the scope of what you're capable of doing, and are commercially viable. I think I landed on something really special, but it took a really long time to get to the point where I was able to understand what I was able to make and also the technical limitations of building like a systems-based game. Check out my game, Terra Factoria. It's on Steam. There's a link in the description. So why don't you click? Why don't you go down there? Why don't you check it out? It's in the description. Pick a small baby idea for babies. Maybe your game is a game for babies. Maybe you're making a game where you have keys and you jangle them in front of the screen. Maybe this is your game, huh? Maybe this is your game. Maybe your game is this. Maybe this is your game. That's the type of game, like something like this, you know what I mean? Maybe your game, you drag the keys over and over like this. It could be quite entertaining. Babies are one of the biggest growing market sectors of the video game industry. I mean, the quicker you can get them addicted to gambling, but the idea is to pick something small. I made a game a couple of years ago for a game jam that I just did in a weekend, just thinking, oh, but man, it'd be kind of fun to make a game where you just fly a plane. And that's it. You just glide. You can't propel yourself. You just glide a plane. You try to get around obstacles. There's one level, and that's it. My first game was a rock, paper, scissors simulator. I had a vampire. I drew this vampire guy. He was kind of cool, and he was like, I think you picked one of three. You picked like attack, defend, or like dance or something. Those were rock, paper, and scissors. And you just battled against another player who picked one of those three. That should be the size of your first game. It should be like this big, this baby size. So big, so little a baby could eat it. So that's step number 2. Scope down. Scope down. Scope to like the smallest scope you can think of, and then cut that in half. This is like the hardest thing. I think game developers are usually people who play games and have this like crazy idea of these games they want to make. Game developers are learning how to make games, want to make games like the ones that they play, and the ones that they play are usually like, in Witcher 6, it's realistic. Look at the hair physics. Look how well the hair flops down his freaking forehead. You can't do that. You cannot make a game like that. Unless you are 100 people who have 5 years, sometimes 10 years, like this game. This game took 10 years. You might need 25 if you're this game took 25 years, and it still sucked. So you got to scope down. You got to scope down, cut it in half. That's rule number 2. Rule number 3, find like a friend, you big sweaty, and then you're not going to feel so freaking intimidated by everything because you're not doing it by yourself. Art should be a collaborative thing. Anyone who silos himself off and makes some amazing piece, sure, you made something pretty cool, but like you didn't really make any good feelings out of that process, and you didn't really learn anything. Think of your favorite game of all time. Chances are it's not a solo developed project. And even if it is, that person got help from other people. Unless you're Edmund McMillan, which you're not, or unless you're Jonathan Blow, which you're not. Find a friend. Make it with some friends, dude. Stop being such a buzzkill. Find like, dude, freaking like we're over here, we're trying to have a good time. Everyone thinks you're crazy, okay? And we're all talking about you. Find a friend. When you're doing something intimidating that is new for the first time, don't do it by yourself. That could be an artist friend. That could be a programmer friend. That could be a friend who's just there for the vibe. That could be a friend who's really good at making coffee. And then they can make you coffee. They can make you Nespresso de caffè presso. They can make you a frappuccino if they work at Starbucks. Yeah, it could be nice. Scope down, find a friend. Start your engines. Scoping down is going to make this achievable for you, and then you're going to build your confidence. You make a game where you brush your teeth. You make a game about brushing your teeth. Mac DeMarco made a game about shaving his friend. That's a great game. It's called Shave Me. Mac DeMarco made a game about shaving his friend just for fun. What's more beautiful than that? Make a game for your friend. Find a friend and make a game for that friend. And make it small. Make it this big. Because otherwise, the big game goblin will come in the night and he'll go, and he'll pluck your hair out of your nose. And you're out of luck. Pal. Scoping down will give you a ton of confidence to finish the project, and then when you're done, you're going to feel so much better going into your next project, which is going to be slightly bigger. Finding a friend to do it with will teach you how to get good at one thing, because you can't do everything and be good at everything. You can be okay at everything. You can't be good at everything. So find a friend scope down. Those things will give you the confidence you need to finish projects. Take it from a guy who spent 4 years making little projects that never got finished. I got so fed up with that process of never finishing anything that I bunkered down for like a year and stuck to an idea that I really didn't feel all that passionate about, just so I could say that I finished something and that it was done. It's just called Pop Pirates. Go check it out. It's pretty fun. If you have friends, you have people in your life to play it with, you should take them to this page over here. Go look at it. Check it out. Take it from me, finishing a game is the most freeing thing ever. And then you're gonna be at the point where you're like, I'm Mr. Confidence. I'm Mr. Confidence guy. Look at my sunglasses. Ooh, oh, I'm cool. I'm making big games now. Big games. You get confidence finishing games with people that are small. So participate in a game jam. Get a team together. God forbid, go to your local game jam on a campus at a local community college. How cool is that? You meet people, you hang out, you make a game with them. It's pretty freaking awesome. It's dope. Just do it. Okay, step 4, reflect. Think about what went wrong and what didn't. There's going to be hurdles. There's going to be things that you didn't expect about your first game project. Oh my God, wait, what? There's gonna be hurdles? It's gonna be hard? It's gonna be hard? You're gonna have to follow these first 3 steps, and then step 4 is gonna be thinking about steps 1, 2, and 3. And okay, maybe did I scope too big? You know, did I work with somebody I liked working with? Did they contribute? Did they help? Was I nice to them? How was I as a teammate? Did I work well with them? You gotta think about it. If you do not think, your head will be empty and you'll float away because it'll be full of air. You're going to float up into the air. You're going to fly through the sky. And you're going to be like, where am I? Oh, I'm floating away because my head's empty because I didn't think. You didn't think about that, did you, huh? Think. Step 4, think about it. Step 5, have fun. I know you can do it. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. I love you. So to recap, start your engines just to determine where on the Dunning-Kruger curve you actually are. Really ask yourself, is this something I can do, or is this some crazy crackpot, nutso, insane idea that I'll never be able to finish? Start your engine. Start learning your tools. Start figuring out what you know and what you don't and what you need to learn. Next, set a goal, right? Scope down. Set a reasonable goal. You don't want to be that guy that's going in and being like, my game, it's like Batman, Arkham City mixed with Cyberpunk, and it's going to be like Halo 2 when they first introduced Xbox Live and you could play online and in VR, and it's going to be Breath of the Wild but $1,000 every time you play in real life money. That's too big of a scope. A game about something bananas. Make a game about picking bananas, like Donkey Kong, okay? Monkey game. Think the bare minimum thing you can make and then cut it in half. It's so important. Find a friend. Don't be such a loner. Find a game jam. I guarantee you finishing that project is going to make you feel so confident that you can do something even bigger next time. And then reflect. Think about what you've done, because it's important to, you know what you did. Was the scope too big? Did you like working with this person? Is the engine okay? Is it the right tools? Think about it. So that's my 4-step process. And I think using that, you're going to get from here on the Dunning-Kruger curve to maybe here. But then next time you're going to do it again, you're going to get here. Oh, and then you're going to get here. And then you're going to realize you know absolutely nothing, but you're going to be better at doing the craft. Thank you to Gooply for sponsoring this video. I love their services, and they have a great brand. Yes. Check out my game, Terra Factoria. It's on Steam. There's a link in the description. So why don't you click? Why don't you go down there? Why don't you check it out? It's in the description. If you went down in the description and you clicked on the page, the Steam page for my game, and you went down and you wishlisted it,